Today on Beavertown Outdoors, we're doing a splitting session with the Eastonmade 1222. Hello again, friends. Welcome to another edition of Beavertown Outdoors. I'm John. I'm out here at the beautiful and very muddy Beavertown compound. So, as you probably heard, well, at least we had by the time a little bit before you watching this video, we went from the deep freeze to a pretty nice, decent thaw. And as a famous meteorologist who likes to say y'all a lot says, we are in a false spring, one of several we're having. So if you've seen other videos lately, I mean the wood yard has been covered in snow and ice. It still had ice from the ice storm we had, but a lot of that right now is melting and has melted. We just got pelted with I don't know, half inch of rain. And temperatures have been above freezing. Today it's supposed to get almost to 50, or at least in the mid 40s. So things are melting, which has resulted in a few lakes, a few things, yeah, a lot of water, mud, things like that. So that of course changes how we operate a wee bit for this time of year, because you know, with the ground being muddy and soft, running the tractor and the heavier equipment around, yeah, that tends to tear things up and make a bigger mess for when it dries, or when it inevitably refreezes a time or two before winter's truly left us. So we're just going to do a little bit of a splitting session today with the with our Eastonmade 1222, and I've got here a pile of oak rounds. You know, I cut a lot of this stuff up when I was testing out the Duke's chainsaw chain. I hope you checked that video out, and if you didn't, take a look at it. Very interesting. But I cut these up back when it was still fairly cold. It was just getting above freezing, so they were pretty frozen, and they did a number on my saw chains, but we got through it. Now, after I got done with it, I piled them all up here, and some of you might notice, some of you who are regular viewers, that I reconfigured a little bit. I did have the Eastonmade turned out with the front out here. I'm going to try out having it turned sideways like this. Advantage of that being is that there's a little bit longer of an overhang over here, and when I do bring the bucket up, I can get up and underneath there without running into the post for the shelter. So I'm going to try it over there, but I'm not going to bring the tractor over here today, again because of the mud. So my thought was to just split the logs off and then clean them up later. Only problem with that is, as I said, right now we've thawed out, or we're in the process of thawing out. But even looking at the future forecast, it's going to get back down below freezing. And I mean, this is northern Michigan. That's the normal for us, right? We'll get these fall springs, we'll thaw out, and then everything refreezes. And what I don't want to have happen is a big pile of freshly cut oak be frozen to the ground in a big ice pile on the ground and basically have to be there for a couple of months. You know, I want it to, once I split it, I want it to start drying. I don't want it to be sitting on the ground either while it's wet like this, absorbing moisture, or again, freezing when it refreezes. That just makes for a bigger mess, and it lessens the amount of wood. It takes longer for it to dry and stuff like that. So my thought was, I've got the yard glider, which you saw that in one video that I was testing out that grain elevator or hay elevator that I bought, which that's still here. It needs some work. Gotta decide whether I'm gonna actually do work on that or just sell it off and buy something else, but we'll see. Trying to give it a fair test. If it's gonna keep breaking, I'm probably not gonna keep it. I'll just sell it and put the money towards something else, maybe even a better conveyor. Because with the Eastonmade 1222, what I am finding is, what I'd heard is pretty correct, that it flies through wood and makes the conveyor, if not a necessity, a very convenient tool to have. So we're going to still work towards that, but for now, I'm going to take advantage of the yard glider, which you've probably seen these around in ads and that. And basically what it is, it's in the fire service we call it a sked board. It's based on that design. It's a plastic that's flexible. It's very rugged, but it's flexible, and it's also fairly slippery. It'll slide across the ground very easy. Something that might not slide on its own, just dragging it, you put it on that, and it'll actually pull very easily. Sometimes by hand or bigger loads with the tractor, but it'll slide along, and there's no need for wheels. And it can get where wheels would just sink in, like in this mud. So what I got is I put the yard glider over here at the end of the Eastonmade tray table or sorting table. I'm just going to split and let it pile up on here. That way I can either, it gives me a couple options, right? I can either bring the tractor over, or even the four-wheeler over, or side by side, whatever you want to call it, and drag this over to the wood bin and hand unload it into the bin. Or I can bring the tractor over. It's off the ground. It shouldn't freeze. This may freeze to the ground, but at least the wood would not. And any more rain we get should just, you know, this is waterproof, so it should just shuffle off, and be able to fill the bucket up and dump it into the bin. So either way, this should be a good adjunct to our normal way of operating when we can drive the tractor around and it's not so wet, sloppy, muddy, yucky. So we're gonna give that a shot. I'm gonna get the Eastonmade fired up, warmed up, and we got the box wedge in it. We're gonna fire through some of these logs. Well, guys, that was it, and we got it all, and even that big one. Sorry about that last one. The battery died while I was in the middle of wrestling with that, and so I didn't get to catch that. But don't know if it got caught on camera. I bent the pullback arm a little bit, so I have to get chains out or something and tweak that back into place a little bit. So, but didn't bend anything else on the machine, so sure we can fix it. But yeah, so box wedge did good. Did some small stuff, did some medium stuff, and did a few really big pieces, and all that in the course of I don't know, a couple hours. So that's gonna do it for me today, guys. If you like what you saw, please like and subscribe. Feel free to share. And until next time, from all of us here at the beautiful Beavertown compound and Beavertown Outdoors, take care of each other, be good, stay safe, and I'm out.